Hello everyone, back tuning into today's video update. So we've got this very warm spell of weather that's taking place at the moment. It's going to stay with us really through the rest of the working week. It's pretty warm. But as we get through to weekend, there are signs of a change. And this video going to look at whether the next week to 10 days, which I think will be encompassing quite a big change over the weekend and into next week, as it'll turn significantly more unsettled with low pressure coming in off the Atlantic, bringing much cooler conditions and also bringing more way of rain as well. So I'll show you the detail in a second, but the bottom line is if you like it dry and warm in summer, make most of the next few days because it's not going to last. Before I get on with that though, just to say about the ads, there's links to articles on all the pages. Have a browse through widgets and click through the links if there's any articles that you're interested in. And thanks so much for doing that. There's video ads to most pages, so own that content when you watch them and close back up again. And it does help to pay for our website. Later on today, there'll be the second update for Le Mans. We'll have a look and see what the latest GFS model of the midday run that will be is predicting for the Le Mans event this evening. Right, let's get on with weather next week to 10 days. We're going to start off with 500 bit of our height anomaly flow charts. We've got the ECMWF here on the top, the GFS, which we'll have a look at in a moment, is on the bottom. 500 millibars, 80,000 feet, is an area in the atmosphere with high pressure, low pressure being moved around by a jet stream running above. Blue extrapolates to low pressure, and red and orange extrapolates to high pressure. So the ECM is placing a really deep trough. This is very deep trough of the time of year, right over top of the UK. And you see from the tight lines here, that's the jet stream, they are digging southwards around that trough. So this takes up to the 16th of June, so going into the middle part of the month, and it looks like we're going onto the cool side of the jet there within a trough of low pressure, so it doesn't look very good, to be honest. That's going to be quite cool and also quite wet, I would have thought. The GFS is very similar. This is GFS here on the bottom, and again we've got a trough in place more or less over the top of the country. The tight lines are digging down into Europe, so we're going onto the cool side of the jet. A little bit of northern blocking as well up there over the top of the pole. So it's the same idea. Both of these models are in agreement, but as we go through into next week, looks like the jet stream's digging southwards and it's bringing a trough with it. So it's going to be significantly more unsettled. It'll be a lot cooler, and there will be bouts of rain coming through with that as well. So this is the GFS temperature and precipitation ensemble chart. We'll deal with the temperatures first of all. It's going out to the next 2 weeks. Dates along the bottom of the chart. We finish up around the 22nd of June. Let's deal with temperatures first of all. So the red line here is the 30-year temperature average, and you see we're very significantly above average at the moment. We're going to stay that way for the rest of this weekend. Dates on the bottom of the chart, so that takes us inside of next week just there on the 13th, and that's about when temperatures start lowering. So over the weekend it'll cool a little bit, and then into next week it'll carry on cooling further. It doesn't look especially cold, at least in terms of the upper air temperatures, but I think on the surface it'll probably be a bit cooler because there'll be a lot of cloud. There will be rain around as well. But you can clearly see there's a drop in temperature taking place over the weekend and into next week. And then it looks like we keep temperatures close to the 30-year average as we go through into the second half of the chart. Now, in terms of precipitation, well, there's a fair amount of dry weather coming up the rest of this week. This spike just here is quite interesting. That's probably in association with some thundery conditions. But overall, not much rain through this week. We get through into the weekend and then into next week, though, and there's the spikes coming back. Particularly early next week through to the middle part of next week, does look really quite wet indeed as that trough of low pressure digging down across the country. The temperature anomaly for the coming week looks warmer than average, so in those red colours, and that's fair enough because this warm weather is going to last at least until Friday, and probably, I'd say, a bit above average even into the weekend. Notice how cool it is over eastern parts of Europe, though, and into western Russia. Very, very cool temperature anomalies there. One of nature's balancing acts is that if one side of Europe gets unusually warm, the other side will usually be unusually cool. And we see that in evidence once again. The east of Europe looking quite cool, but west of Europe looking generally warm. That might switch around a little bit next week. Temperature precipitation anomalies, I should say. They're looking wetter than average in the north and west from the 6th to the 14th of June. Still a bit drier than average in the southeast, but I would expect these to trend wetter, if anything, over the next few days. So you can clearly see that the direction of traffic is to turn it more unsettled, especially in the north and the west. Here for generic charts, and high pressure still reaching through the country on Friday. There could be some showery rain in the west, but otherwise found to dry and warm weather continuing into the end of the working week. The weekend, that high pressure still just about clinging on, but look at the low pressure gathering in the Atlantic. And that begins to attack as we go through the weekend. So, attack of the Atlantic. Really, on Sunday, the 12th, we find that low pressure moving in from the west. It'll be bringing a band of quite heavy rain, I would have thought, into the north and west. Temperatures lowering as well as the winds turn round to the west. And then we go through into next week, looking very unsettled. For much of the time, this trough is sinking down across the country on Tuesday, the 14th of June. Wednesday the 15th and Thursday the 16th, which is day 10, looks very unsettled. Low pressure is around the UK. The wind's also coming in from the north, so pretty cool temperatures there, I would have thought. ECMWF is very similar. Again, that ridge is through the country on Friday, keeping the fine weather going, or mostly fine weather. Some showers possible on Saturday. And then we go through into Sunday. Low pressure starting to attack from the Atlantic. Here it comes, moving in, bringing much cooler temperatures and also wetter conditions right way across the country in the start of next week. And then it stays very unsettled really throughout next week on the east end. This low pressure looks quite significant down across the southeast on Wednesday the 15th. Could well bring some persistent, quite heavy rain, I would have thought. We go through to day 10, which is Thursday the 16th, and that low pressure is moving into central parts of Europe. Maybe a little bit of a ridge building behind it, but this low pressure in the Atlantic looks very deep, and I would have thought any ridge that tries to establish will very quickly be flattened off as this next trough of low pressure pushes in from the west. So, well, we've got a clear trend here for the next week to 10 days, and it's going to be turning more unsettled. So make the most of the dry and warm weather that we've got coming up over the rest of the working week. It'll start to break a little bit in the west, I think, on Friday, but into weekend it'll gradually turn more unsettled. It may well be on into this time next week before the southeast sees any rain. But over the course of next weekend, I would have thought rain would gradually encroach in from the north and the west, so that by next week we could be significantly unsettled with bouts of rain and much cooler temperatures as well. Right, that's it for now. Later on, we'll look at Le Mans, so come back for that if you're interested in what could be happening over the weekend of the Le Mans event. But that's all for now, and thanks for watching.